Welcome back, viewers. So, we have been talking about living in truth, the Gandhian paradigm, and the lectures based on this. Today, we are talking about the chapter which is Gandhi's Ecological Revolution. Gandhi's idea of spinning wheel was also a phenomenal reflection of cycle of life. It was not only the technique of meditation, self-realization and self-sufficiency, but also presented a biodegradable nature of production. Spinning represented the strength of oneness and mindfulness. It became the source of humanity and self-respect. Not deploying machinery in this process and instead using labor reflected conservation of energy and resources. Gandhiji respected all species belonging to the surrounding ecosystem. One finds a piece of evidence from his clear instruction that once he said that do not kill, he was against killing a cobra when it bit him, if it bites him. So he wrote, I do not want to live at the cost of the other life, like maybe a snake or anything. He contended that lives of all species and descendants are the descendants of the same God. Gandhi considered cow protection as in the Indian religion as one of the most wonderful phenomena of human evolution. Cow should be viewed as significant link between humanity and nature, maintaining ecological balance. The tradition of maintaining vast cattle population for various economic needs became the source of sustaining the ecological cycle. For India, cow, like khadi, reflected economic symbol of ecological balance, reflecting symbiosis of humankind and nature. While coal or oil-based economy has not only been an environmental destructive, leading to overexploitation of limited resources, war, destruction, unrest, etc. We have seen that and it is very evident. About recycling, if we talk about, humans have dwelt in a life that converges with the law of nature and maintains ecological harmony. Gandhi believed that to have a higher intellectual level and wisdom, humans must be more compassionate to the lower beings. Gandhiji was a firm believer in recycling the throughput of humans. He strongly advocated the process of recycling and minimizing the waste so that humans adopt a lifestyle that integrates with the ecosystem. A strong supporter of conservation of human resources, he appealed to people to recycle and minimize the waste. His ashrams were constructed with a wasteland adjacent to villages. He strongly emphasized keeping the home and surroundings clean. Practicing silence and fasting were the methods through which Gandhiji formalized a path of lifestyle that could ensure evolution of humankind that decreases entropy. This leads us to the second law of thermodynamics. Usually it is said that evolution violates the law of thermodynamics. Humans have employed dissipative technology of low efficiency for over 100 of years and which has resulted into ecological and energy crisis. There has been a substantial debate to establish the second law of thermodynamics. However, Gandhiji advocated the ideology or the philosophy that successfully lowers the entropy, a system and method to live and meditate and processes of production consumption that should move towards creating low entropy. Gandhi's notion of Nai Talim, if you see, is also a remarkable illustration of manifesting the traditional knowledge of spirituality, academics, life skills in a child. This was a unique method which was designed by Gandhiji to teach every individual and child right from the childhood the true meaning of connection of ecology and provide training for developing a sustainable pathway through skills. These skills originate from the philosophy of 3 R's, that is, reduce, reuse, and recycle, and provide a source of livelihood for one's lifetime. Gandhiji was equally aware and mindful of inculcating good sanitary habits among the people and was most prominent advocate for using biogas and manure for cooking purposes and other related activities. The model of community biogas plants actively function in all Gandhiji's ashram, transforming human waste into organic fertilizers. Several research experiments examined the innovative technique related to toilets also, and that was large seen at Vardha Ashram, Sevagram Ashram, that the various models were created by that time and around that time for efficient utilization of water and recycling of it. Gandhiji's relevance for life and respect for animals, which was considered as a violent act. Any act that is against the well-being of any species around is considered non-violent. He was actively tolerant for all human beings and as well as species, and he was also very tolerant for human habits and choices of food, though he himself was a vegetarian. Gandhiji's entire life functioned much like an ecosystem. His everyday life, every minute, action, emotion, thought was well placed, appropriate, and never lacked ethics and morality. It was a Gandhian philosophy that J.C. Kumarappa based his notion of economy of permanence, which we again have talked about in ecology revolution. Cradle to cradle philosophy. It was similar to that, generating lesser and lesser wastage and using renewable resources for production purposes. Concept of permanent is absolute, which is beyond time and space. This was a remarkable notion and concept that was advocated within the regime and within the framework of economy of permanence. It can be attributed to God, this particular concept of permanence, or one can say truth and love, and all of which is unchangeable. Within the gambit of time and space, nothing is permanent, because if you consider time and space, everything tends to change. For Gandhi, nature was analogous to God. However, when nature is not considered God and rather understood as being limited between time and space, nature would cease to exist sometime in future, because then it is no more permanent. It is bound to change. In this context, human life is said to be transient in comparison to nature. Relatively, nature can be considered permanent in comparison to human life. However, it is essential to comprehend that nature consists of some material that are fixed in quantity, that such as coal, petroleum, iron, copper, etc. They are limited in quantity, therefore they are considered as transient. Underlying phenomena of nature's permanency is based on close cooperation to maintain life's continuity. Nature has the inherent capacity to support the continuity of life. The twin model, Gandhian philosophy, the trusteeship model and the economy of permanence, they together are the breakthrough in visualizing human coexistence with nature. If you see the sustainability aspect, these two models, they unfold all the challenges together. the message of honoring nature as the supreme and the most significant entity of human existence has been manifested by Gandhian revolution. Lifestyle that is based on self-reliant, non-violent methods of philosophy is critical for visualizing sustainable pathways. As we saw under moral revolution, that manifests only if humankind learns to devote their action to others selflessly and with love. This selflessly dedicated human lifestyle transforms the socio-economic political relation and how humans interact and perceive the nature itself. So this hope clears the entire connectivity of being true, non-violent, selfless and dedicated to the larger cause. Such a lifestyle can only sustain all the dimensions of socio-economic political paradigms. It is this moral and ethical revolution that helps humans to realize their smallness in front of the vastness of nature. The basis of Gandhian revolution is the inner voice and the inner interconnectedness. That becomes the guiding source in all the aspects of revolution which we have talked about. It is this interconnectedness and revolution that will provide the future generation, and this basis of Gandhian revolution, this inner voice will be the guiding source for all kind of challenges human life experiences and perceives in the whole of the systems. It may be an interaction between human to human, it could be an interaction between human to nature. All the activities performed in this lifetime of human life, if guided by the inner voice, and that too, that is that has experienced the self-realization and transformation, which we have talked about, the 3 stages of transformation. It will slowly, gradually progress to interconnectedness of not only humans, but it will lead to interconnectedness of nature, with nature and species. Here nature would mean the entire ecology altogether, ecosystem altogether. It is species, living, non-living entities around. One would be able to really appreciate the altruistic aspect of living. Altruistic aspect is different from the materialistic aspect, where person desires and creates wants for materialistic things. But here a person who is guided by this philosophy and thought process would look for altruistic progress. It will look for a progress that is respectful, that is not guided by the standard of living, that is more for enhancement of self-respect and love and absolute love and truthfulness. The basis of Gandhian, it is the moral and ethical revolution that has helped the human, that will help the human civilization to realize all these attributes. The basis of Gandhian revolution is the inner voice, as we have already seen, and it is the future generation that will recognize the virtue of Gandhian paradigm not only in India, but it will see across the world. They will relive and keep reinventing Gandhi in every era, simply because humanity will have no option but to come closer and closer to the reality, and that is the truth. So this was the ecological revolution chapter of the book. So I will just quickly show you the book. So this particular book will have the last chapter, which will be a concluding chapter, which is called as Thinking with Gandhi. So hopefully you have seen all the lectures based upon this particular book, and you will have enjoyed all the lectures. And I leave the last lecture, which is Thinking with Gandhi, for you to go through the book and read it straight away. Because in this last chapter, we have tried to connect all the dots which are relevant for the present scenario and contemporary to the present contemporary world. So how that 100 years back theory and philosophy of Gandhi has put across all as unfolded and given us the solution for all the challenges, all the present problems, socio-economic, political, geopolitical, climate change related problems, have answers from the theory of Gandhian thoughts. So I'll quickly go through the authors. The author of this book, quickly introduce the author. First author, Ramin Jahanbegloo. He's an Iranian-Canadian political philosopher. He's presently the executive director of Mahatma Gandhi Center for Peace Studies and the vice dean of School of Law at Jindal Global University, Delhi. He is the author of 32 books in English, French and Persian. Some of the important writings of Ramin Jahanbegloo are The Gandhian Movement, published by Harvard University Press in 2013, Introduction to Nonviolence by Palgrave, 2013, The Disobedient Indian Towards a Gandhian Philosophy of Dissent, Speaking Tiger, 2018, Global Gandhi, 2018, and more recently, Mahatma Gandhi, A Non-Violent Perspective on Peace. So he's an avid Gandhian scholar. And the second author is Dr. Pooja Sharma, that is, I am the second author. I am an associate professor in Department of Economics, Daulat Ram College, University of Delhi, alumni of Miranda House. I've completed my master's from Delhi School of Economics. I've done MPhil PhD from JNU, and I have been to University of Agder as a PhD fellow in Norway. And I have also written a book on Gandhi earlier, that is Through the Lens of Mahatma, the journey of a migrant. So that is my first book on Gandhi. And my area of research is related to energy security, energy transition. I have also tried to conceptualize energy transition through under the Gandhian framework, that how the energy transition would be more sustainable if you bring in the Gandhian concept of decentralization. So we have received two very important blurbs, the comments for the book. The first comment is this, that in this era where inequality, economic and ecological indifference are widespread, living in truth, the Gandhian paradigm articulates an alternative vision of living and being together. This comment has come from Uday Singh Mehta, Professor Uday Singh Mehta of Political Philosophy. He is a professor of political philosophy at Center of City University, New York. Another comment we have received for the book is, this book is an extremely valuable contribution to the Gandhian mode of philosophical thinking based on fundamentally on truth, non-violence and self-examination. This comment has come from Professor Pule Nair, former director and philosopher and professor at Delhi School of Economics, Delhi University. So these are two blurbs, and the book was launched under the Gandhi Matters, and this there are various links. Gandhi Matters on 27 September 2022, and at ISC, and the book was launched by Ashok Vajpayee ji, who is a very well-known eminent personality who has launched a book at this particular event. And the book is available on the several links. If you type all these links, it is available online And hopefully we are trying to conclude this as a last lecture based on this particular book. And here the book is basically it is a compilation of all dimensions which Gandhi could pitch in and provide a solution in the current scenario. And in the last chapter is going to be very, very interesting, where we bring in all the present challenges, and one by one we try to unfold all challenges by adopting the framework of Gandhian thoughts. So the last chapter is there, and which is going to be without any lecture. We would like to conclude it here, so that you see the book and read it and find out the relevance of Gandhian thoughts in today's world. So thank you for all the patience for all the lecture series based on this particular book, and I conclude this. Thank you so much.